Welcome back. We are about to see the second quarter of the day's play. We've already had the first. Diamond Creek 2 are not in a good position. They are 5 of 34 after 17 overs, going at just 2 runs and over with half the team out. Into bowl, and it's through. And first ball after the drinks break. Thankfully we did see that, we did capture it. And the 6th wicket has fallen.
Really poor shot there from Ramsey, the skipper of the Diamond Creek side. You would have thought, so after the drinks break, you'll get the partnership going again. Has already accumulated 19, but considering the first 5 partnerships had 15, it was comfortably the best one of the innings so far, but that was just a really poor shot there. Not the sort of pitch you want to drive on the up there, and finds himself as the 6th victim.
Like, that was really bad. It was the sort of drive where you scoop it, where you don't really allow your hands to guide you through the shot. Instead, you try to get your bat into position too quickly, which means that the ball isn't there for you, and instead your hands, instead of guiding the ball through the covers, instead hit it into the air, and all your strength is in your bottom hand, and it just becomes an ugly scoopy shot. And like, that was not the shot to play at that situation. First ball after a drinks break.
No, you're exactly right there. As we see Max trailing to the wicket there, the number 8. Emerging all-rounder, has, like a lot of the players, done a little bit of an apprenticeship in the lower grades there. Is definitely an emerging talent.
Now, Max Trainer has had an excellent season so far. 34 runs in the one-day game. Then he didn't score anything significant in the second game, a duck and 4. But with the ball, 2 for 19, 2 for 8, 2 for 13.
Definitely is emerging. He's been one of those players earmarked for higher grades there. But certainly has to get himself in some consistent form in these middle grades before he can do that. He certainly has come a long way with his batting, a lot more confident than what he used to be.
He's very short. His waist is up to the bales.
He's certainly well aware of that.
There's a leg slip in place. Comes into bowl and played off the back foot. So, they obviously must know this guy because they've immediately got the leg slip. Slip is very straight. Gully is in. Cover is in. So no orthodox fielders except for mid-off on the offside. Everyone is close in. Leg side is more orthodox. As he comes into bowl. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That was a very ugly shot. Oh dear.
Well, they certainly put the pressure on, we can give them that much. But yeah, the batting was certainly below par there. Certainly, I think he forgot that the score was 6 for 34. Maybe he was thinking he was more 0 for 200 there as he played that shot.
Like, that was just... Even when you look at the field was trying to close in on the offside, but on the leg side it was more orthodox. So the idea would be to have peppered him on his leg stump so that he couldn't really score at anything, and to play a wild, extravagant drive across the angle of the ball when a ball that's straight at the stumps, like that, just on the field setting, you would say that that is the wrong shot to play. Even when you look at the scorecard, in doubly so, that's the wrong shot to play at this situation.
Exactly right there. As we see Jaden Stephen to walk out to the middle, wicketkeeper and our player in focus earlier today.
Yes, unusual situation that he hasn't yet batted in a seniors game, even though he's been around the Diamond Creek seniors throughout the season so far.
As mentioned, coming back from that think injury there that he suffered before the first game there. So just working his way back into it. Did field last week there, so he is good to go.
So we'll see if his batting is as good as his catching. And... well, dear me.
That was just good bowling. You can't put that down to anything to do with the batting.
That was incredible bowling. It didn't swing that much. It swung a little bit. But mostly it was actually just the pace and the pitch. So just to bowl the ball, perfect Yorker, where the batsman can't stretch forward to play it as a full toss, and he can't move back in order to play as a half volley, that he actually has to chop get his bat down and clamp down on it. That's a perfect Yorker, and it was exactly off stump. And it was just too fast, and it was just too good. Like, that is just about the perfect Yorker you'd want for a left-hander, where you can't play it as a into the covers, and you can't play it onto the leg side, because it's exactly on your off stump. It's just the perfect Yorker for a left-hander, for a right-arm bowler.
Well said. He's actually done really well to adjust his line there. Diamond Creek have had right-handers throughout until the left-hands come in. Anderson's bowled 4 deliveries to left-hands and gotten 2 wickets. So one of those rare right-armers who just does the trick against left-handers.
And the Diamond Creek players are scrambling now because they have to get their whites on in order to get the pads on, in order to be ready to come out when the next wicket falls.
Seems to be coming on, unfortunately, too quickly there for them as Christian merits the wicket there. Now, I remember in the first game of the season we were actually talking about carrying the bat. Unfortunately, Sean Russell may find himself in a position as well where he might join that illustrious club there.
Yes. It's not good. It's not good when you carry your bat with a very low score, doing sort of like a... It's one thing to do a Mark Taylor and score 160 not out and just be an incredible performer. It's another thing to get like a 19 not out. That's far less illustrious.
So the second 5-star wall removal hat-trick ball there. Remember, if you need a dog door or cat door removed, don't remove the door, remove the wall.
Here we go, hat-trick ball. And left alone outside the off stump. Once again, they've done the traditional thing in local cricket, which is for that one hat-trick ball, you crowd in, and then as soon as it's a dot ball, you get out of there. So, that's the end of the over. It is am I reading that right? It is 8 for 34.
Right you are, Chuck.
End of the over. So, coming into the 19th over now. And left outside the off stump. That ball started to swing in a little bit. The wicketkeeper had to adjust and move a couple of steps to his left in order to take that in. Not too much that he was actually bothered by it, but enough that you could notice that he actually did have to do that. He couldn't just take it at his standing position. Comes into bowl. Oh! Now, that's the problem when you try to play everything off the back foot. It means that when the ball swings a bit late, that's when you get found out, and you actually, you know, play a shot like that, where you try and play a block shot, and it just misses your outside off stump. And it might go through your gate if you're not careful.
Or just lacking confidence, considering he's thinking his mate's fault at the other end.
Comes into bowl, and left alone outside the off stump. He definitely, like, as far as an openness technique, it's perfectly good, because trying to play as much as you can off the back foot is a good way of protecting you from doing something stupid and like getting bowled or caught behind. Comes into bowl. Oh! Now that ball moved away from the right-hander, missed the outside edge. He started to push at it, but then he swung, just at the last second, swung his gloves out of the way. Like, they've got his number. They know what he's trying to do. They know the bowling team knows what the batsman is trying to do, and they are bowling to that plan. As he comes into bowl, and it's a cut shot, but missed.
If I was O'Connor, I'd certainly would prefer getting Russell out than having him as the night batsman there. Certainly it's one thing to get all 10 wickets for a cheap score, but you certainly want to make sure you get all those top order batsmen out there. So I'm sure he would prefer getting Russell out as opposed to just knocking over Merritt and Pierce.
Yeah, there's certainly no reason why you should give this guy a single to get the tail ender on strike. As he comes into bowl, and it's oh, that's a sucker ball. That was the sucker ball. It was a slower ball outside the off stump, half volley, and the batsman tried to, at the last minute, was playing it on the back foot, then tried to push forward, and just looked so ugly. All his weight is on his back foot, and he just doesn't, he's not interested in driving. So, bad shot into the over. Maiden, it is still 34 for 8. So, start of the 20th over. And it's defended. Fielded there by the fielder at short point.
So, with the Diamond Creek camp, what on earth do you do as a captain there? We got Ramsey, who's just about to limp to the field, you would think. You can't imagine these two surviving a huge amount longer.
As he comes into bowl. Well, it's actually a good situation because the fielding team have gotten so much momentum behind them that there's a certain expectation that the next wicket will fall. And so if you can spend half an hour not losing another wicket, that's when impatience in the fielding team will build up much faster than they would if they have to work for the rest of their wickets. As it's stepped away to try to play the cut shot, and he missed it for a dot ball. So if the fielding team has to bowl for a half an hour taking one wicket, half an hour taking one wicket, then if they have to bowl for another half an hour, they're pretty much waiting and patient and expecting it to happen eventually. But if they're expecting it to happen every ball, impatience builds up much faster as it pushes it to short point for a dot ball. And so just hanging around there for just a little bit of time actually is to your advantage, because it's sooner they'll start to try to do things to try to make a wicket happen. And that's when you can capitalise on it, and suddenly you're getting some runs off the bat and things are actually on your side, and you've got a 50-run partnership to your name. Oh, not stuff like that.
Bit overly aggressive there from Christian Merritt there. He does like the drive there, but I would have thought you'd put it away while you try and scramble out some overs there and try and work your way to some form of score. Good news for Diamond Creek fans, this will not be in the lowest top 10 scores. The 10th lowest score they've ever had in the club is 32, so they're already past that.
Good news for them as it's defended. That's the other thing. The plays and misses. If you can stop the plays and misses and actually look like you're comfortable and confident, it will really play on the minds of the fielding team. End of the over, so it's another maiden, is 34 for 8. Okay, so this is the 21st over. Ah, is that out? Is that out? Yes, it is out. We heard it from here, that little tickle, and the fielding team just had the opener's number. The opener was playing it all off the back foot with his bat in and his gloves in pretty much the same position every single ball, and so it was just a matter of working him over and waiting for the right ball to come and get the wicket. So we were expecting this to happen eventually, and it did happen.
And again, this is what we're talking about, that I kind of would prefer getting the opening batsman Russell out, who did fight hard for his 15. I would have certainly preferred getting him out as opposed to just knocking over Merritt and Pearce. Pearce is a dangerous batsman there, as you've seen come out there. Certainly can get onto it once he gets going there. Will he have time though? We'll certainly soon see. It will depend a lot on Merritt.
So let's have a look at Pearce's numbers. Okay, so he's batted twice this season, and he's got single figure scores in both of them. 3 in the one-day game, and then 1 in the first innings of the two-day game in the derby. So, not a lot to be spoken of there.
Exactly right. He came to stardom when he actually took a 10-fer last season there, and yeah, certainly had named himself before then, but certainly has become a legend since.
It's into bowl. And it's a driven over the head of the mid-on, and there's not enough momentum to take it to the boundary, so the fielder at mid-off runs around, throws it in for 2. So this looks like you're very much a tail-end slogger, which might be to, you know, it might work if it upsets the fielding team, upsets the bowlers, because he's just not behaving the way you would expect a batsman to behave. Comes into bowl. Oh, defended there. That looked like it was the slower ball again, the one that you don't hold it in the front of your hand, instead you hold it on the side with your 2 front fingers split, which means it comes out of your hand slower, but it still looks like a normal pace ball, and it just was chopped down by the batsman, defended. It's into bowl. And it is 4 runs.
This is the sort of thing that maybe they could have considered earlier, not necessarily Pierce himself, but to try and take on the bowling a little bit sooner there. I know it's obviously difficult there because you're still trying to construct innings and you never know which two batsmen could put together a partnership. But just put the pressure back on at the end of the day. Skipper O'Connor and the Lob playing side have just had it too easy so far.
Yep. Comes in the bowl. And wild whoosh.
Certainly not the time for a wild whoosh. The other two shots were good shots to put together Pierce's 6. That was just a whoosh.
So that was the problem I had with the opener. That when you do the same thing every single ball, you can build up a certain expectation and you allow the fielding team to plan around you. And it's glanced through the leg side and they just get the 1 run there. And that's the end of the over. So an exciting over there. It's 9 for 41. 9 for 41. Okay. Comes into bowl. And it's pulled down the leg side. And once again, the short fine leg is costing them runs. And they're gonna get the second. Very good running by those two.
A little bit too short there from Anderson. Certainly his full ball's been the most dangerous and where he's gotten his wicket so far. But again, they probably could have kept him to, say, 25 at this point. Finally, was just on the boundary.
Like, it doesn't make sense. This guy is slogging. Have fielders for the catch.
Speaking of catch, they'll do.
That is the end of the Diamond Creek innings, which is just amazing because it is 10 minutes past 2 o'clock. So we have been playing, assuming we had a 1 o'clock start, for 70 minutes. Even if we had an early start, it's even
less than an hour and a half. That's just a demolition there from Lob Plenty, certainly reassuring themselves as premiership favourites, and Diamond Creek reassuring us that they are the 4ths and not the 3rds who are in the same grade.
Like, this is just it gives it a bit of perspective considering what happened in the derby, because in the derby what we saw in the derby between Diamond Creek 1 and Diamond Creek 2. Diamond Creek 2 were bowled out for 55 after 30 overs, and then in the second innings, chasing a target of about 150, which they could have scored if they, considering how many overs they had. They batted out their 30 overs, 5 for 62. So losing 15 wickets for 110 runs against the third 11 of Diamond Creek. It's just been terrible start to the season for Diamond Creek. 4 for 11.
Well, we'll see what happens when they have the pressure off. Like you talked about a bit earlier when we were talking about what does Dave Ramsey do there. The pressure's now off. It almost doesn't matter how they go about it there. They've got the pressure off, so they might as well have a crack at trying to get him out for less than 43.
Yes. They will have to try to come up with something. Definitely considering, you know, that because they don't even have anything to score, it means that they will have already lost first innings points very soon. And so it's just a question of just kind of come up with ideas that will get the wickets, because you can't defend it. You can't just try to slow things down, allow the ones to be scored, and hope that they just only score 180, because then you're so far behind the game, you can lose outright anyway. So any sort of defensive maneuvers will not work. You just have to give everything a shot. So it's time to take a break. We have just seen the first innings of Diamond Creek all out for 45. I'm Chukka Wilson. I'm joined by Damien, Hayden, Haydos. This is Channel 8, the local sports network, in association with Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. We're going to take a break and we're going to have the second innings.
body's in a chair across from me, but your mind is in the sky above the trees, just floating. So lonely, yeah. You tell me that you love me truthfully, but empty words have got no use for me. So show me, just show me, yeah. Well, your shirt is all stained from the heart on your sleeve. You talk a good game and I wanna believe, but if you really wanna prove your love, then just show me. Am I just a bad habit that you can't break? Are you scared to face down that big mistake that you blew it? And you knew it. Am I the dashing young prince in your fairy tale, or was it just another slice of slightly stale bologna? Come on, show me, yeah. Well, your shirt is all stained from the heart on your sleeve. You talk a good game and I wanna believe, but if you really wanna prove your love, then just show me. Do you remember when we met? We were such a flaming wreck. The fire never died when our bodies would collide in the night. And still I smell the smoke in the words that leave your throat. Buried deep inside, is the fire still alive? I don't wanna hear your reply, no, just show me. Well, your shirt is all stained from the heart on your sleeve. You talk a good game and I wanna believe, but if you really wanna prove your love, then just show me, yeah. And the well is all drained from your buckets of words. It's time to listen up if you wanna be heard. If you really wanna prove your love, then just show me.
Hello and welcome back. You are seeing on your screens the Diamond Creek team walk out to the middle for the first ball of the Lower Plenty innings. That's right, Diamond Creek batted first and have already been bowled out. And now, within the first session, within the first 90 minutes of play, we are now going to see the second innings of the match. Lower Plenty responding to Diamond Creek's first innings. Diamond Creek failed to even reach 50 runs, and now Lower Plenty are in a position where not only will they be able to win on first innings by the end of today, but they could easily score a big 200 something score and then look to get outright points next week. So I am Chukka Wilson, of course, and we are here at the Channel 8, the local sports network, and I'm joined.
Hey.
Hello.
It's not a great day for Diamond Creek so far, is it?
No, it's not.
Other team just bowled really well. They're just a standard above. I don't think our batsmen really did too much horribly wrong. I just think they were outclassed by a much better team.
Yeah, those two opening bowlers, they had a plan. They moved
very accurate.
Which is disappointing because I can't remember everyone's names, but one of the openers who lasted a long time.
Sean Russell.
Yeah, he actually was.
Yeah, he made 15 in the end. He batted very well. Oh dearie me, that's not a good start.
And that is 4 runs. So when you're defending a score less than 50, that is not a good start.
Ah, there you are. I thought you were over here.
Yeah.
So of all the starts, a boundary and a full toss is not the one. So was everything accurate? They made 45.
44 I think it was, but close enough.
It's not hard.
Whoa, that ball moved in.
Yeah, he generally bowls very well, this bloke Piercy.
Piercy.
43.
43, okay.
So I was right, they were wrong. Club legend. Yes.
Yeah, he took a 10 for one game last year.
Definitely have mentioned that.
And 4 ball.
He won our club champion a couple of years ago as well.
So let's have a look at Pierce. In the one-day game, 1 for 4. And then in the derby, 4 for 24 and 3 for 22. What an excellent start for Robert Pierce. Comes into bowl.
So we've got our 2 opening batsmen there for Lower Plenty. Macca, the man who's in the most form there for Lower Plenty.
Yep.
And with him is Anderson, the man who ran through with 3 wickets in that over.
Ah, okay. So
Thursday.
Anderson opened the batting in the first, in the last game in round 2.
Well, hopefully his bowling form doesn't carry over to his batting. Oh dear. You got to get that full toss out of your game, Piercy. Not going to get anywhere that way.
Is that?
Well run by Anderson to get the 3rd run there. It's a long boundary out there towards the final leg boundary.
Was it 2 dot balls or 3?
I can too. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought 2.
Okay.
Macca quickly onto 7 there and creeping up towards, well, total 43.
Okay, so this is so this is Anderson. He is unique in that he's the only batsman to have failed in the entire Lower Plenty season. Out for 6 in his 1 innings and defended there. So who will be opening the bowling with Pierce?
We'll soon see. It's in the over.
It'll be David Ramsey.
Oh, miscounted. End of the over. It is none for 7. Okay, so we're coming into the 2nd over now. From the river end, we have
Dave Ramsey coming into bowl, the skipper.
So,
the 4th 11.
David Ramsey, 1 for 25 in the one-day game, none for 15 and none for 20 in the 2-day game. Left alone.
Has bowled Diamond Creek to many a victory in his time.
Yeah.
Is 43 beyond him though, when he's already lost 7 of them?
I'm going to go with yes. Unfortunately. He's a good bowler, but he's not that good.
Ramsey into bowl. And it's late cut, but fielded there by the gully.
Nicely fielded there by Merritt there in gully.
Christian Merritt, that is. Noah's playing in the other F2 team today.
Exactly right. We have seen Noah earlier in the season fielding for B grade.
Not that you could see the difference.
Into bowl. And left
I
alone.
wish they'd at least cut their hair differently or something.
Should at least dye their hair. Saying, why don't you go the old Funky Miller, have a bit of
Even Justen can't tell them apart.
So you just call both of them when you want to speak to one of them, you just call both in.
Comes into bowl. And leg glanced.
Played.
Down to fine leg.
Thrown into Stephen there, which it was a little bit surprising to see Stephen up at the 4th 11 considering it is the first game back. One of the problems he has is that the lower grades already have their set keepers as captains, so the thing is that if he wants to come back as a weak keeper, he has to come through a higher grade than what he otherwise might have.
The other reason he is playing in this grade is their normal keeper was unavailable due to having to go up to the thirds. So they were in desperate need of a keeper.
Well, will this be these issues be sorted out in short term, or are these long term
It's
considerations?
generally just a cup weekend issue.
There are some grades who have even failed to field teams, as even Rosanna in their 4th 11.
It's Melbourne Cup weekend.
It is.
Yeah, Derby's
No
on today.
wonder everyone's missing, because
Yeah.
they're all at 4 week. Okay, so that's the end of the over.
Have this week off and have a one day
Okay.
next week. It's so much easier. Pierce off.
So, this is the 3rd over. The score is none for 8. And I just discovered that it is Melbourne Cup weekend, so it is a 4-day weekend for most people. No wonder there are so many absentees across most of the 11s, and so many juniors having to fill in spots. Pearce into bowl. Now Pearce has an unusual action. His shoulders come around not in a particular, he's not allowing his hips to guide his shoulders. Instead, all of his bowling action is through his shoulders. I can't really think of a comparison. Who would bowl like that?
Well, we've already mentioned our international play during the telecast, so you can't use an international play to compare.
Okay, Pearce into bowl.
If I was to compare him purely in style, not in outcome, but in style, I would compare him to Sean Tate. He's one of the only international bowlers I can think of who bowls with such a heavy shoulder motion.
And now the sun has come out, nice and sunny. Pearce into bowl. And it's driven, very classily driven. It's into the outfield, and it's not going to go to the boundary. It's going to get picked up, and they're going to throw it back in. 3.
Certainly is. So Macca on to 10 there, and that shows how dangerous he is. He's coming up towards 200 runs already this summer. It's not even mid-November.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fairly clear that this Lower Plenty team are probably playing a grade 2 low, and this Diamond Creek team are a grade 2 high.
You can say that again.
But Diamond Creek are already hosting all the other Gs. Pearce into bowl, and defended, fielded there by Gully. So if this 11 happened to have...
there is an F3 grade between this and G1 they can get dropped to.
Which would have been absolutely perfect for them, but not to be.
Usual to have two Diamond Creek, two teams of the same club in any division. I can't think of any previous examples.
Okay.
Yes, it's happened before for Diamond Creek, but generally only in the very bottom grade.
There was a season of haste grade as we get the end of the over. We'll talk about next over.
So it's the end of the over. It is none for 11. Okay, so we're going up to the 4th over, and so we've got Dave Ramsey for his second over at the river end. It is coming towards 2:30. The sun is out and the wind is blowing. And it's cut, but fielded there by the fielder at point.
Well played there by Macca, certainly showing good form there.
I think that may have been sheep there at point.
Yes, Adam McKenzie doing some neat work there.
It's very obvious the difference between
even Adam Pollard.
the Lower Plenty batsman.
Yeah, it's Andy Pollard, actually, you're right.
Left alone.
Well taken there by Stephen behind the stumps there, so...
Some nice away swing there.
Yes, he definitely has quite a curvy arm action, which allows him to bowl a lot of outswing balls. The natural ball for him would be the outswinger. Comes into bowl, and it's cut, but fielded once again by the point fielder. A bit of a bumble, but no chance of a run off that. Dot ball.
So what Ramsey will have to think about is the fact that he's got this patch until lunch there where he might consider bringing on a couple of, say, part-time bowlers to try and buy himself a wicket or two. Maybe they look to someone like a McKenzie bowl.
Comes into bowl.
Well bowled. And well defended too.
May I say well fielded as well there by Farah.
Yes. He
That's
definitely
taking him for granted.
He definitely had to bend his knees to get that one.
We've seen enough cricket to know that it's not always a given to stop those sort of ones, so...
Okay, Ramsey into bowl, and pushed. A very smart technique where he, when he's pushing the ball off that's a half volley, he tries to keep the bat within his centre of gravity. He doesn't allow the bat to escape him, and he accidentally pushes it too hard. Comes into bowl and defended. Again, keeps his bat close within his body, within his centre of gravity, so he doesn't do anything silly. Good over there for the Diamond Creek team. It was a maiden. It's still none for 11. When I did the highlights package of the round 1...
You're in?
Yep.
Bizz in, and Anderson driving there. Well fielded there at mid-off, so there'll be no run there.
So,
It's the opening batsman Russell there with the fielding. One of the few standout performers for Diamond Creek, it must be said. Nearly carried his bat through the whole innings.
We were talking about it earlier in the telecast, doesn't happen too often. Pierce again. Defended by Anderson.
Someone walking around near the goalpost with a very fancy camera.
That would be the wicketkeeper's father, that is Farrell Stephen.
Ah.
Takes a lot of action shots.
So much media around here. Comes into bowl. And leg lanced. Down to fine leg, and there is no fine leg. So the fielder at square leg has to pick it up, and they come back for 2.
Ooh, good arm though.
Just good cricket so far from Anderson. Certainly has been a standout performer this match there. It looks very busy at the wicket there. It's certainly pushing hard for that 2 there. Noticing there wasn't a fine leg.
So let's see. Slip, a third slip, gully, point, cover, mid-off, mid-on, square leg, and then a backward square leg. Comes into bowl and defended off the back foot. Unfortunately, there is a car that is right behind the slip fielders, and so the sun is reflecting right into the camera.
That wouldn't be your car, would it be, Chukka?
Yeah. Oh, I've got the BMW over there.
Yeah, it's not mine. Mine's the next one around.
Comes into bowl and defended again. Like, it's just so obvious the difference of class where the lower plenty batsmen are blocking it with such control and concentration. They just know what they are doing here. And when you look at the runs they've scored this season, it just starts to make sense.
They've been in such good batting form. They average about 100 runs a wicket. It's been fantastic form for them.
Comes into bowl. Oh, that was a very bad shot. Very ugly. And it's going down for leg buys. 4 leg buys.
A little bit disappointing with the keeping there, but sometimes they can be tricky when they go the opposite direction.
Now, that was a very strange shot. We'll talk about it at the next over. So that's the end of the over. It's none for 17. And welcome back. So we're coming into the 6th over. Ramsey is to continue bowling from the river end. As he comes into bowl. And it's a full ball, it's played as a full toss, driven there, fielded by mid-off for a dot ball. Yes, that last ball of the previous over, it was short, and the batsman decided to jump onto it to try to play the pull shot. It didn't bounce as much as he expected, so it missed the bottom edge and hit his torso for leg buys. Comes into bowl, left alone outside the off stump.
Considering how well he leg lanced the ball earlier over the 2 runs, I would have thought he would play the same shot there, Anderson, but deciding the pull shot was more appropriate.
Well,
yes, I think perhaps he misread the length slightly.
That's true.
Don't forget about all the wickets that have fallen through the hip glance, where the ball bounces more than you're expecting and you top edge it.
And Calladira had just too many easy catches. I've been laughing. Ramsey again.
And played very comfortably. He was almost waiting for it. Now the sun is coming out. The sun is gorgeous.
Really good toss there to win for lower playing there to get the bowling first. Not that they would know it would be batting.
They lost.
Oh, they lost the toss, okay.
Good toss to lose.
Good toss to lose for lower plenty there. So
Yes.
next time I'll promise to do my research.
And it's edged! And this is the perfect part where the cameraman can just ease into it, but it's not going to go for a boundary.
Good chase by Mackenzie, keeping it to 2.
And well thrown into.
So much better bowling there from Ramsey, looking a lot more dangerous. Macca off, going hard at the drive there. Probably, maybe even worth taking the risk as captain to have extra slips, knowing that you've got to get wickets.
Yeah, this, especially for a bowler whose speciality is clearly outswing. You just go with your strengths.
So maybe even take out the point and have a second slip.
Comes into bowl. And leg lanced, and that's going to go through the square leg region, picked up by the backward square leg.
And just a single there.
Oh, well, I'd take out the mid-on probably.
That's another option.
The mid-on is probably because you want him to put that the mid-on, the shot, the driving shot to go through mid-on is exactly the shot you would want to play to get the outside edge through a outswing ball. So I would take mid-on out and bring in an extra slip or maybe an extra gully. Comes into bowl. Oh, that is a very bad shot. But he missed it. Into the over. It is none for 20.
Feeling Diamond Creek will be batting again today at some point.
I would say so.
That would be something. Is there compulsory closure still, even though...
The compulsory closure will be 68 match overs. So
even though Diamond Creek batted first and got bowled out, Lower Plenty can only bat 68 overs.
In total, so you're minus off the 22 that Diamond Creek had, so it's a maximum 46 that Lower Plenty can bat today.
But what about, but they're coming back tomorrow. They're coming back next week.
Oh, next week as well. As he's into bowl and Macca cutting.
If I recall correctly, they get the overs we didn't use.
Quite right, yes.
So they will get...
And 4 more.
So they will get their 68 overs plus the nearly 50 that we did not use, should they want them.
So if Lower Plenty wanted, they could just bat out today
they
and
could
next
bat
week.
out.
Exactly right.
They
yes.
could bat out up at roughly 110 overs or so.
Okay.
If they wanted to.
So they're in complete control of the game as to what they want to do.
Well, the fact they've got Macca off there flying along there with these runs, I wouldn't be surprised if they were looking at bowling for about 15 overs tonight.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised to see a declaration sometime around the afternoon drinks break. Perhaps with 15 to 20 overs left in the day.
So,
It's a good position for a Cotton to be in, that's for sure there.
yep.
Crowd's starting to come in a little bit as well. We've got a few extra.
Yes. Oh, top edge.
I think you're giving Macca not enough credit there for that shot. It was
Yeah, I
nicely
think that was a well played uppercut there, I believe.
He did curl his wrists, turn his wrists, so actually rather than did get underneath it in order to launch it.
Yes, whether he got all of it or not, I couldn't say, but I dare say that was where he was aiming to put it anyhow.
Yes, look at that crowd. There's a whole group of people watching the game from behind the keeper. Comes into bowl. And leg lanced.
That will be the G1 players.
And a polite round of applause for that good piece of fielding. So, is G1 been cancelled as well?
Yes.
So
yes, we got 2 walkovers.
Oh dear. I thought they'd have solved this problem by now. If
We just would have thought one day this week. All grades, keep it simple. One day.
comes into bowl.
Because what it also does is it also means next week as well. We'll be back here, of course, for the conclusion of this game. But those players who aren't playing today will also not play next week.
Yeah.
On the plus side, we do move to 2-1 in the G4 team, so we should be on top or near the top of the ladder at any rate.
It's good news for Bellingham and his side there to be near the top.
Yes. And to full toss, driven straight to mid-off, dot ball, end of the over. A good one for Lower Plenty. So it's 28 for none.
So that would mean Anderson's on 3.
So this is the 8th over, and it looks like Ramsey's continuing the what is he doing? Square leg is going out, moving into second slip.
Probably a few overs too late there. We thought about the idea at last over, and clearly they've got the earpiece in hearing our ideas, but yeah, maybe a little bit too late. Maybe they've missed the edge already.
And
Good shape there and well played too.
yep, the ball is not swinging for either of these two bowlers as much as it was for McKinnon, but it is moving enough that if the batsman were to do something silly, they would get the outside edge.
Been solid here, Anthony. I know he's only on 2, but he certainly looked very, very solid at the wicket.
Oh,
Ooh,
Commentator's curse, eh?
Yeah, that shot was very loose. Didn't need to play at that ball at all. Would have been better to leave it alone.
Exactly right there, especially with the field. You certainly don't want to take risks for those offside shots. Better off waiting for the one slightly straight and playing through mid-wicket or fine leg.
Comes into ball and defended.
They certainly do look a class above here, Lower Plenty.
They certainly have shown that even the first two games there when they beat two promising sides there. They knocked over Mill Park, I remember, in round one where they were coming that one-dayer, or two-dayer. Yeah, so it was Mill Park in the two-dayer that they defeated. And Chuck, you want to remind me who they beat in the one-day?
Yep, so in the one-day game, they played against Laylaw. Laylaw batted out their overs, only scoring 111, and they chased it down very easily, losing only 1 wicket with 5 overs to spare. And in the two-day game, they batted out their into Lower Plenty. And it's a late cut, and it beats the covers, and they're going to have to chase it down, and they do, and they're going to throw it back in.
Easy 2 there for Lower Plenty.
So yeah, in the two-day game of round 2, Lower Plenty batted out their 68 overs, scoring 2 for 246, and Mill Park, they had to actually work for it. They bowled out Mill Park within the last half an hour for 186.
Ramsey again, and Anderson leaving alone outside the off stump there.
So in both the games, the team that they were bowling at were only able to score about 3 runs and over. Okay, it's the end of the over. It's 30 for none. Okay, so we're coming into the 9th over now. At the current run rate, you would expect just about parity or maybe a slight lead to Diamond Creek by the tea break. But the runs are just flowing too easily for Lower Plenty that this target is not even becoming a very big hassle. Ooh, a fielding change. Short cover.
Important to change things up here. As
Oh.
here for the false start.
Comes into bowl. And it's driven. And it beats the fielders in the covers, and the fielder has to, mid-off has to chase it down, and he does, and they will get 2 there.
Very aggressive shot there, but I don't think he quite timed it as well as he would have liked.
He's got a very dominant lower hand, which is why he doesn't seem to be directing it in the right areas. He seems to be more scoopy in the way his wrists are in position as he comes into bowl. And it's driven, and a bit of swearing, which is banned from Channel 8. We don't want our precious YouTube advertisers to get upset, so
We just wanted just to change the ratings PG this particular telecast.
yes.
But a really good shot there from Macca. He's dominating there on to 26 now, so finding it too easy at the moment.
Comes into bowl, and it's a full toss, and it's played away deep into the leg side. The fielder at square leg is trying to chase it down, but it is all in vain, and now he just has to pick it up from the boundary, and he does right on the fence.
Yeah, it's a very poor ball there by Pearce, but one does have to acknowledge the batsman played it very well. It was nicely put away there.
He certainly put away the bad balls there, Macca, and that's what makes him so hard to bowl to there. You know that the bad ball's going to go away for runs, at least 2 if not 4, so it means you put more pressure on yourself to bowl more of those good balls there, as opposed to other batsmen who might miss out on the occasional full toss. So Chukka, put yourself in the Ramsey shoes. What's the next change?
Comes into bowl. Whoa! Did that ball move in? That looked like it moved in.
I don't think so, but let's put yourself in Ramsey's shoes.
Okay.
What's your next move? What comes next?
You have to upset the batsman. I would if I have a fast bowler, I would try and bounce him out, or try and bowl a sort of attacking spinner, something to get the batsman out of his rhythm. And leg
well
cut,
played.
late cut, down to third man. The fielder at gully has to pick it up, and then the fielder at slip eventually does pick it up, and they get 2 more runs there.
So looking at Diamond Craig's bowling options, it probably has those 2 things that you mentioned. They actually don't have either of them. You look at guys like Farah with that medium left arm medium fast, similar for Max Trainer, Sean Russell right arm medium fast. So look at their other options, just seems to be pretty up and down.
Yeah, the other option that you might be tempted to go to early is Zach Petrosino, but again he only really offers right arm medium. So they're a little lacking in variety in the Diamond Creek attack.
End of the over, it is 40 for none. Okay, so we're coming into the 10th over now. They're scoring at more than 4 runs and over, which means victory for first innings is within Lower Plenty's grasp. So,
It's quite remarkable, when you came here today there in your BMW, you wouldn't be thinking you'd be talking about victory before lunch.
certainly not. And the late cut, and it is fielded there by the fielder at point for a dot ball.
Nearly done from Pollock.
The other one, you could bowl a medium dibbly-dobbler seamer, get the keeper up, fielders all around the covers on both sides of the wicket, and just bowl stump to stump, and don't let the ball bounce enough that you can be cut or pulled.
Ramsey in.
Whoa!
Yep. Anderson coming onto that very late there and coming well through.
And a good full outswinger there, giving the ball plenty of time to move before it reached the batsman.
Yeah, so if the ball has stopped swinging, that's when you do the dibbly-dobbler medium pace, just stump to stump, and just wait for the ball to bounce a little bit less to get an LBW. And well defended there. It's a full ball, and he decided to play it again off the back foot. Everyone is playing the full ball off the back foot here.
Probably one of the things that comes here is that the bounce itself is not necessarily consistent, so playing off the back foot does give you that extra half a second.
Comes into bowl, and left alone. And a mistake by the keeper, and the batsman decided not to go for it, which is a wise move.
Probably would have thought there was a run there.
Possibly a single there if they went straight away, but as soon as they hesitated, it was wiser to stop at that point.
Just got to keep working out, Stephen. You've got to make sure he's concentrating behind the wicket there as we see Ramsey coming in again.
It's much better that work that time from the keeper.
So I'm looking at the balls that Ramsey's bowling, and they're definitely moving, but they're just not moving that much. Not as much as McKinnon, and not as much as the other opening bowler for Lower Plenty. So to actually make batsmen play a miss, I don't think he's moving the ball enough to make the batsman play a miss on a consistent basis, other than the occasional one.
A maiden there for Ramsey. Score stays on 40. I'm over.
So left arm over the wicket is Farah, and of course he has only played 1 game and he scored a duck, and he did not bowl in the G4 one-day game.
He actually did bowl in the G4 one-day game. You might have to look at your research there. I'll actually do it for you there.
I must have missed it.
I think it might be fairer to say he did not bowl successfully in the G4 one-day game, as only 2 players really took wickets of note in that match.
Okay, comes into bowl. And, oh, that's a very unusual action. He allows his fingers to come around the ball on the right side, as if he's bowling like, bowling off-spin cutters. But why is the keeper back?
Probably a little bit too quick for Stephen to be too close there. To compare it, when he was bowling in G4, Damien might have been probably a half a step higher, but Stephen giving himself a little bit more time there.
See, this is not the thing that I think should do, where you just do an orthodox field, orthodox bowling style.
Farah again and defended by Berendorf, so no run.
It looks very conservative by the numbers, and when you're so far behind the game, you have to be the one taking risks, going for the more extravagant style and just trying to play the numbers, we'll lose.
To give you an idea, we've actually got his numbers as we see him coming again.
His career numbers or his season numbers?
Season numbers. So he bowled in the first game, bowling both the opening bowling role and the death bowling role in the one day. 7 overs, none for 22.
Oh, okay.
So tidily enough. Probably not the damage he would have liked to have done playing in a lower grade than what he's capable of.
Comes into bowl and down the leg side, and it's glanced, and the fielder at fine leg will pick it up, and they decide not to go for the run.
Probably a bit too close there. They've done similar to what Lower Plenty had, which is that short fine leg, which we were certainly very critical of. It probably cost Lower Plenty, 15 runs or so. And Diamond Creek, though, making most of it, though. They've saved their boundaries so far.
I do have a feeling, though, that fielder that Lower Plenty had at fine leg was probably their weakest fielder, so they perhaps were trying to hide him away from the action. If so, it did not work.
Okay, so that's a maiden. Amazingly, it's none for 40.
I
would see my O'Farah an apology. I didn't realise he bowled quite so economically.
He's better than a lot of us.
So this is the 12th over, and Ramsey's to continue to bowl right arm medium fast at the river end, and it's a leading edge, not a leading edge, a thick edge, and it's fielded there by the point for a dot ball.
So it could be a mini victory for Diamond Creek if they can somehow keep Lower Plenty under their score until the break. And they've still got those 4 runs to get, which they've had for the last couple of overs, but they've certainly tightened it up.
Yes, I think the goal here for Diamond Creek should be to get at least 1 wicket and keep them under 50 by the tea break, which is currently in about 10 minutes' time.
Like I said during the Lower Plenty fielding and the Diamond Creek batting, is that when you're so on top, your expectations that everything will go your way starts to build up, and so as soon as something slightly doesn't go your way, you get upset and you start making mistakes.
Yes, that can certainly happen.
Oh, and that is going to be buys.
Can be tricky keeping to the full tosses there, as it's fielded by Mackenzie there, right near our commentary box for a buy. Because of the fact that you are expecting the batsman to hit it, or if it's hit the stumps, you're not actually expecting it to carry to you. It doesn't come with the same bounce that normally would if it hits the pitch.
So everyone knows that dot balls build up pressure, which gets the half chances and gets the wickets. And normally you would expect you would have to bowl at least 4 or 5 maidens to get a wicket, but now you can just bowl 1 or 2, and the chances come. We just saw a chance. That one, a big full toss and a big wild play and a miss.
So the thing about the modern day cricketer, they certainly wanted to make sure they're scoring a lot quicker than what they used to back when we were a bit younger.
Right you are. Ramsey drives it straight to mid-on, dot ball.
Ramsey would in fact be bowling it, it was Macca who was driving it. Ramsey was driving it, really, so when he was batting.
Yes. True.
We can edit that out later.
Ramsey again.
Oh, that's the end of the over. Okay. It's just the 1 run off it. It's 41 for no loss.
I still think with their batting lineup, Lower Plenty would be heavy favourites, but they would have to work a lot harder for it.
As Farah in for his second over. This is the 13th over of the innings. Now, the big variable is going to be what Lower Plenty think they will be able to bowl Diamond Creek out in the second innings. How much time do they need? How many runs do they need to defend? Because that'll tell us how long they'll be batting today and then maybe next week. As Farah bowls, and the ball moved the other way. It was moved away from the right-hander dot ball.
I think it'll be a lot to do with time and overs today. I think the runs themselves will be fine. As we know, they're about to pass them, and I think if they bat for the majority of the second session, then they'll be at least about 50 in front, so that'll be plenty. The only thing that might hold them back is if they're none down, because of the fact they've still got their best batsman batting and playing well. They might think they're better off still batting on. The reality being is that even if Diamond Creek put it together a bit better in the second innings, they'll then still have time in the back end to chase.
Yes. Certainly you would want to win by an innings, but chasing in the 4th innings, definitely Lower Plenty would back themselves.
Barrow again to Macca off. Play comfortably there, square leg where there's no run there, filled by Trainer.
Yeah, interesting to see Trainer and Farah in the same team, as this commentator has heard a rumour that Farah threatened Trainer with a gun when Trainer attempted to ask his daughter out on a date last year.
Well left alone there.
The hijinks that these lower grade cricketers get into.
Well, they've certainly got a bit of distance between them.
So, Farah into ball.
Ooh, well played there.
So this should be 3 there as Macca has played it to the deep part of mid-wicket.
And it's just before the fence.
And for those who are keeping score at home, you'll be well aware that this is victory for Lower Plenty there. Not necessarily the round of applause that you normally get.
Yep. So it is 45 for no loss, end of the over. So we are coming into the 14th over. It's about 1 minute to go before 3 o'clock. So the lunch, the break, the halfway through the day break is coming up.
Yes, either this over or perhaps one more after this will be the end of the session.
What they have done is they've at least changed up the bowling there, so we see Russell looks like coming into the attack there.
Russell.
Yes, and Russell was easily the best of the batsmen earlier today, so hopefully he can translate some of that form into his bowling.
Exactly right. The only one who can hold their head high was Christian Merritt with 0 not out, not going out.
So Russell bowled in the Derby game, none for 27.
He's got Stephen up to the stumps there. Would have thought that maybe Russell was a little bit too quick for that, but it looks like he may be trying to spin as opposed to pace.
So let's have a look at the field. A short, straight, fine leg, and then a deep, wide, fine leg. So 2 fine legs. Oh! Now, very strange bowling.
Yeah, he's trying to bowl off spin, I believe, getting a lot of top spin off these pitches, so the ball tends to kick up rather sharply as it bounces.
Russell again, defended by Macca, no run.
Then we've got slip, gully, point, cover, mid-off, mid-on, square leg. So there's a big gap, square of the wicket on the leg side, and probably in extra cover.
You wouldn't want extra cover with the extra bounce there from Russell as he bowls. Macca defends.
This is a good bowling change. I like an attacking spinner, trying to try and have fielders around, build up the dot balls, not as a defensive spinner. And tries to glance it, but he did not play that very well, the batsman.
Ramsey was put onto it quickly there, which says a lot of a man of his age.
I'd like to see someone just bat pad. And defended, and it squirts out, and Gully does not pick it up cleanly for 1 run down to the short third man region. That batsman that was just on strike, he doesn't seem to be very comfortable playing the spin.
Well, it often does take a couple of overs to get used to the change of pace and delivery.
Oh
dearie
dear!
me.
Oh dear!
That ball appears to have been edged into the slip's face there.
And
unfortunately, he couldn't get his hands up to catch it in time, and appears to have done him some rather serious damage to the nose.
I think that should be the dinner break, because by the time he gets back up and they get him off the field.
Yes, that was the over as well.
So it is. There was 1 run off it, so it's none for 46, and I think they're gonna go off. That was that might have broken his nose.
Yes, very possible. Nasty little injury that.
Might give us an opportunity to go through a bit about the first innings for those who have missed out on it. Well, we've got a bit of a break here.
Okay, so let's go through it. Haydos, why don't you take it away?
Absolutely. So all began this morning there with Diamond Creek wing the toss and electing to bat there. The first man to go was Steve Farrer, out for 4. He was out being bowled there by McKinnon. And obviously wasn't a great start or a great innings on total, but that's how it all began. Next man to go was Dwyer, the emerging batsman out for North. He was also bowled by McKinnon there, when he was on a roll in that first session. After that was Mackenzie. He was also out to McKinnon, but this time through the method of being caught there as they were falling away quite quickly. Petrosino, well, he didn't necessarily hang around for too long. He was then out for 1. He was the first wicket for Lacey. The first of the over, as later on the over, there was Pollitt being bowled by Lacey there. He was the first of the 2 bowls on a hat-trick today. He was out for naught. Next man to go there was Ramsey there. First ball after drinks, scooped it up to cover off the bowling of Anderson for 7. The next 2 wickets were in consecutive deliveries. Firstly, Trainer being bowled, and then also Stephen being bowled there. Finally, after surviving the whole time, Russell then found himself dismissed there. Old Caldera, he was off for 15 there. For the last man to go, Pearce, taking on the bowlers but being caught out for 9 then. With the total of 7 extras along the batsmen's scores, they found themselves all out for 43.
And Lower Plenty then batted for the second half of the opening session and have already chased down the run, and we've got no wicket fall, and they are now in the black with still half the day's play to go.
Exactly right there. So if we have a look at how the batsmen have gone so far there, Metcalf certainly has been the most dangerous of the batsmen on 36 not out. Extras are on 5, and that then leaves Anderson on 5 to make up the 46.
Alright, so that is the state of play. It is pretty much exactly what we predicted. We said that Lower Plenty as 2 and 0 are one of the best teams in the competition. Diamond Creek 2 are one of the lowest teams in the competition with 0 and 2 as their record. And pretty much what has happened today so far is what you would have expected. Like, there's been no surprises.
Yes, perhaps would have hoped Diamond Creek might have been able to bat out a few more overs, but the results certainly coming as no great shock.
And so this is going to be big for Lower Plenty, because if they can get maximum points, a huge boost to their percentage, they will overtake Lower Eltham to be in first place. And so they are going to send a big message to this F2 competition that they are the team to beat. Okay, so we're going to take a break now. So this is the lunchtime break, so we're going to come back. We're going to have the second half of the day's play. You are watching Channel 8 Local Sports Network in association with Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. This is round 3 of the F2 of the 2017-18 season. I'm Chukka Wilson. I'm joined by Haydos.
Yes,
do you want a fake name?
Sure. And I'm Macca, joining you today on guest commentary.
Alright, we're going to take a break now. We'll be back with more cricket.